What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So yes, just want to do this quick video, just to let you guys know what my picks are for the March Madness tournament that should be happening within like the next hour or so. Hopefully we get some correct. Usually I'm like 50-50. So we'll see. And then, yes, see how you guys do. I know it's like a 1 in quintillion to get this thing correct, but you always got to try because you never know. And I obviously made some picks that were for Duke or for USC, but I don't really see them going far. So see how this goes. And just a quick reminder that this is a vertical video, so it's better to watch on your phone instead of through like your TV or something like that. But yes, just so you don't turn it sideways and it becomes like really small. So just letting you know, let's get this over with. And yes, we'll see how we do.
Alrighty, so you can see here, obviously Gonzaga is the #1 overall seed. So I have them moving on and playing Memphis. A little bit of an upset against Boise State, not that much, but taking that one. Then I have UConn defeating New Mexico State. Nope, not too worried about that one as much. Arkansas over Vermont, even though Vermont is a sexier pick right now, but I'm going to go with Arkansas. Alabama, I liked a bit more this year, so I'm going to go with them. Then I'm picking Texas Tech over Montana State. Just think they've been a lot better. Michigan State over Davidson, just because of Tom Izzo. Then also, obviously, Duke beating a school I was once accepted to, Cal State University of Fullerton. So it's pretty good. Then when we move on to the round of 32, I have Gonzaga defeating Memphis. Should be pretty easy, but we'll have to find that out. And then also having Arkansas defeating UConn. Pretty close game, but still like Arkansas. Then still very much like Texas Tech to advance far, so I'm picking them over Alabama. And then a little bit of a homer pick, I am picking Duke over Michigan State, even though I know they can very easily lose that game. But we'll see. And I'm pretty much chalk, as they say, where I'm picking the top 4 teams in the area, but I like them, and it's a pretty tough area. So I have Gonzaga defeating Arkansas in the round of 16. Then Texas Tech taking out my Duke Blue Devils. And going on to the round of 8, I have Gonzaga defeating Texas Tech. Going with the top overall team. That was the West. Let's go on to the East. Alrighty, so when we're in the East, I believe this is. So I have Baylor defeating Norfolk State. Baylor's the only questionable #1 because they do have a good team, but a lot of those guys are injured right now, so I don't know. We'll talk about them in the next round. But this one was a tough one. North Carolina against Marquette. I'm picking Marquette even though before I had North Carolina a lot, but it's kind of convinced this morning by Jay Will on ESPN just because North Carolina struggles against teams that are like the way Marquette plays, and it's Shaka Smart who obviously took VCU to the Final Four, a very small school. He's already done that in his history. He didn't do much at Texas, but nobody likes Texas anyways. But with Marquette, I think he could do something special this year, in my opinion. And I'm going with a little bit more of an upset, taking number 12 Indiana over St. Mary's. Felt a lot stronger about this before. I saw Indiana do one of the playing games earlier, I think it was 2 days ago, where they kind of struggled to get in. But I'm still picking them because I only know St. Mary's really only beating Gonzaga once this year, and that was pretty much their biggest win. So a lot of people think St. Mary's, but I'm going to go with that upset of Indiana. Then UCLA and Akron, obviously going UCLA. Texas and Virginia Tech, picking Virginia Tech because they just beat Duke in the ACC tournament. They're on a hot streak, and it's Texas, of course. They picked two of these teams that I dislike very much close to each other. Then, one of my bigger picks, I'm going with Purdue over Yale. But definitely believe in this Purdue team. Going with Murray State over San Francisco. Could be a close game, but picking the more higher level team. Then obviously I'm picking Kentucky over St. Peter's. On to the next round, I have Marquette picking the upset over number 1 Baylor. I just think if those players aren't coming back, perfect time for an upset. So I'm picking Marquette. Picking UCLA over Indiana. UCLA does have a good team. They should take care of this, so we'll see. Obviously, my special team, Purdue, taking out Virginia Tech, who's been on a hot streak, but I just think Purdue is the way better team than has been all year. Kentucky over Murray State, because they should. Then I have Marquette versus UCLA. I'm picking UCLA. Next game, I'm picking Purdue over Kentucky. And then, yes, I am picking Purdue over UCLA. Now, on to the South. Arizona, yes, this was one of my bigger picks I was going to make upset-wise. I was going to choose the 16th seed if it were Bryant. But, of course, they ended up losing their first game, which was to get into the tournament. And they had the nation's leading scorer, Peter Kiss, so I was hoping he would make a big upset. But his team did not make it, so I had to make some changes. So I'm going with Arizona. Next game, I'm picking Seton Hall over TCU. Close game. Picking Houston over University of Alabama. And then I'm picking Illinois over Chattanooga. I was picking Chattanooga, but Illinois has been the better team overall. One of the better teams, top 25 all year, so I'm going with them. Colorado State and Michigan. I still don't believe Michigan deserves to be in this tournament. They don't even have over 20 wins, and I just think they got lucky with the seeding. They should be a way worse seed than what they are. Colorado State has some pretty good players, so I'm going to go with them. Tennessee, I'm picking over Longwood. A little bit of an upset going with Loyola Chicago over Ohio State, even though Ohio State has E.J. Little, who's a pretty talented guy, but I don't know. Everybody's picked against Loyola Chicago recently, past couple years, and just like, a year or two ago, they made it to the Final Four, so we'll see. Then I'm picking Villanova over Delaware. Then I'm choosing Arizona over Seton Hall. In the next round, picking Houston over Illinois, a little bit of an upset. Picking Tennessee over Colorado State. Then I'm picking Villanova over Loyola Chicago. Choosing Arizona over Houston. Tennessee over Villanova, little upset. And then a little bit of a bigger upset, I'm choosing Tennessee over Arizona to go to the Final Four in this bracket. That's the South. Let's go to the Midwest finally. Picking Kansas over Texas Southern. SDSU, San Diego State over Creighton. Iowa, who's one of my more polished favorite picks, over Richmond. I was picking Providence because I thought they were a lot better, but kind of did my homework a little bit, and I think South Dakota State is going to pull off the upset. You have to choose some of these upsets, so going with them. LSU against Iowa State. I'm picking Iowa State just because LSU, for some reason, fired their... We know the reason they fired their head coach right before the tournament, because he's in some allegations and stuff, so I don't know if they're going to be 100% ready to go and mentally there, so I'm picking Iowa State. Picking Wisconsin because they have one of my favorite players, Johnny Davis. I hope he is healthy, but he did get hurt in the Big Ten tournament last week, but apparently he is okay, so hopefully he is healthy enough so they can make a big run. Everybody seemed to be picking Miami over USC, which I believe it might be the correct bet in the end, but I do have to choose at least USC winning one of these games, so I'll take the loss there. And obviously picking Auburn, who's a number 2 team, over Jacksonville State. Kansas over SDSU. Then I'm picking Iowa over South Dakota State. Wisconsin over Iowa State. And USC loses to Auburn in the second round. Not surprising. Then I'm picking Iowa to have the upset over Kansas, the number 1 team in this area. Then I'm picking number 2 Auburn to advance over Wisconsin. And then here I was thinking Iowa, but I kind of just have to go with the better team in my opinion, because Iowa has 1 great player. Auburn has 2 great players who will be drafted, so I'm going there. Now let's get to the Final Four and see how this shapes out. So yes, here we are, the Final Four. Gonzaga versus Purdue. I have Purdue with the upset over the number 1 overall seed. It's the only number 1 seed I have in my Final Four. Picking Purdue, close one. Then I'm picking Auburn over Tennessee, an SEC matchup in the Final Four, but that's just the way things come out. And I just think Auburn has been the better team, even though they did not win the SEC tournament. Then I'm picking Purdue over Auburn, a number 3 over a number 2. You have to predict a score for some reason, so I'm saying it's a 3-point game. Never going to get the score right, but whatever. And yes, Purdue is the champion, the number 3 seed. I just think they have one of the better players in Jaden Ivey. They also have Zach Edey, who's a very tall Asian center, and he's very good offensively and defensively. Have a couple other guys as well, so I don't know. Hopefully, if they can stay healthy, stay together, I'm picking them. And yes, I did do other picks or other brackets having USC or Duke win, but yeah, I'll get to that right now.
So there you go. Those are my picks. Hopefully they turn out good. We'll see. Purdue over Auburn in the final 3-point game. Should be an interesting final year for Coach K. I don't see them winning, sadly. I don't really like this team. I do have them going pretty far, though, at least like Sweet 16, something like that. USC losing in the second round. At least they got to get 1 victory for them. But yes, we'll see how this goes. Good luck to everybody. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. Good luck. Fight on. And Duke doesn't really have a thing, so go Duke. Whatever.